Hi everyone, welcome to the Paper Pumpkin Alternatives collab. I'm doing this month with Stmpgrl, Paige. Every month we try and do some alternatives from the Paper Pumpkin kit, and this month it's from the Paper Pumpkin kit, and also there was an add-on that was available for $10, so I'm including that. So this month's Paper Pumpkin kit, which I already showed you that I made, were these tags to go on these adorable little craft treat bags. So, but they're nice size treat bags, and these were the two I made as intended. So no, they're not the alternates. So let me just bring them in one by one. I made some cards, and I made two other little things, which I'll show you when we get to them. This is the first one. I actually had two Mary Merlot card bases already made in my paper stash, so I pulled them out because my process is I look at what colors are coordinating, and I go pull out all my cardstock and any designer paper I have and other things I think might go, like other ribbons and stuff. But anyway, I tried to stick for some of these cards with the Paper Pumpkin kit. Now, I don't know if you'll recognize this, but when I did the video, the unboxing video and make as intended, the last thing I showed was me stamping on the craft bag, all over the craft bag in Mary Merlot. So once I got off that video, I actually went in and used, I am not sure if this was Mango Melody or Crushed Curry. I think Crushed Curry, because that's what this is, but I could be wrong about that. Anyway, I colored in all the little circles on the whole bag. But when I stamped it, these creases kind of left like gaps, and where these handles are, you know, the stems go down to, or whatever it's called, the handle bottom goes down to here, and so there were places where the stamping didn't take real well. So I cut the bag up, and this is one of the pieces of that bag, and you'll see some more on the next one. Also, this was a little scrap of Mary Merlot. I just felt like I needed something behind this label to make it pop against all the yellow. And please forgive my nails. I had them done earlier today, and I have destroyed them between doing dishes and not hot glue, but glue and things. So these two leaves are out of the kit. This ribbon's out of the kit. The sequins are out of the kit, the labels out of the kit, and I did run this piece also out of my scraps through the subtle embossing folder. And this card was not already rounded, but I felt like I wanted to round, and I didn't round the top up here, but or the left side, but I did round the outer edge. And then inside I did the same thing. I partially rounded it, and I stamped on Whisper White the same way, Mary Merlot and Crushed Curry, and I just backed it with Crushed Curry. So that's card number one. Card number two, same idea, except I had a thinner piece and I didn't round it, and I did run this also through the subtle embossing folder. I took Mary Merlot around the edge of this Crushed Curry piece here, and just to make it pop a little bit, I think I also used Mary Merlot. And what I'm saying is I'm inking them with one of the Stampin' Right markers, and I just go use the brush end and go around. So instead of distressing, if you will, I just ink the edges in a color to make them pop a little more. And here, instead of the ribbon, I used the linen thread they gave us, and I wrapped it around the both layers here, and then just tied a bow and put the little sequins that came in the kit on, 5 of them, 1 big and 4 little ones. And inside I didn't put any white, but I did put another piece of bag and a piece of crushed curry, and I obviously didn't emboss that one, but I thought it went well, and that's light enough color that you can write on that. So that's the second one. Now my next two things, or my next thing, is not really a card. It's something different. My next two things. So what I did is I took the handles off the bag. These, when you, let me get a empty bag. Hang on. So when I did with the bag, there's a seam right here. So I took the bag, I opened it all the way up, I pulled this apart and opened it. I tried to be very careful. But inside the bag, these are hooked on with like a piece of heavy card paper, and it comes up without too much difficulty if you take your time and pull it up carefully. So that's what I did. I pulled that up carefully, and then once I got both the handles off, I was able to cut the bag up that I had marked. But I took the handle and I wrapped it around itself and made a wreath, and I used E6000 actually to try and hold that together. And then I brought the burlap ribbon that Stampin' Up! Has, 5/8 inch wide, which I really like that stuff. Anyway, I needed something a little stronger than this to wrap around the handle and just make it look fall. And then this top part, it was a little bit skinnier here, so I wrapped this ribbon around just the top part, and then I took a separate piece and I glued that down, and then I took a separate piece and tied a bow, and then I tied a bow with the piece of the twine. Now this is loose on the card. This is one of the add-on cards, and I did not alter it, but I poked a little hole through here, and there's some twine tying this wreath on, and that's why it says enjoy. This is a little gift wreath that somebody can hang in their craft room or whatever. So that's what I did. I made a little gift wreath for fall, and I put it on a card to give to someone. So that's my project number one. And then the other handle, I didn't really feel like doing another wreath, and it still had this piece, this backing piece on. So I cut another one of these cards up. I cut this off to fit. I actually had to cut the crumb cake part off here, but I left the sides on, and it fit just right over this piece. And you see I put another piece from the kit on there. So then I just stamped Happy Thanksgiving and put some of the pieces out of the kit on, and some bling, and I made it into a little wall hanging for Thanksgiving. Just a little Happy Thanksgiving wall hanging. And I just I tied this on and did a bow, and then I thought, well, it's kind of loose. This ribbon is real fine. So I just took a long piece of the linen thread, and I wrapped it around, tied it twice, one on top and then twice on the bottom here, and just left it dangling down. I thought that was cute. Now if I had little fall charms perhaps that would match, I could maybe cut that linen thread a little shorter and make them uneven and hang little leaves. And I thought about like putting two of these on back to back or something, but I just wasn't, I held it up and I just didn't like it, so I left it this way. So I thought that came out really cute too. So those are my two projects. And I actually watched somebody else just today after I'd already made my projects, but before I got to film this, and she had not made a wreath, but she had taken the bag apart too, one of them. And she was like, if I had monkeys, I could make it into a monkey swing. And the funny thing is, I was thinking the same thing, because my daughter, I used to call her a monkey because we'd always go to this outdoor playground that had uneven bars, and she'd be always hanging upside down, so I always called her my little monkey. So that's those projects. Now back to cards. So I went from that note card to this note card, and I kept this very simple. This is a crumb cake card base. I ran just the front of the card through the subtle embossing folder, which I don't know if you're going to be able to see. And probably there. And then I had a scrap of Blackberry Bliss actually, and that's one of the matching colors, so I just put that card front onto Blackberry Bliss. And those card fronts, oops, I was looking for the card fronts, hang on. Those card fronts have crumb cake all around, so I actually I edged it off with the trimmer. But I have a lot of cards left, guys, but you'll see how much I did already too. And then this is the linen thread that was in the kit, and I just took the dark Blackberry Bliss, and I took the twine over a piece of scrap paper, and several times I ran the brush over the twine, and you can still see a little bit of the or linen thread, a little bit of the natural color through, but mostly you see the blackberry, and I thought that went well on there. And then this, I actually took one of the tag pieces. Hang on, I still have some left. And I cut it just big enough to go over one of those banners. I stamped in Blackberry Bliss Happy Thanksgiving, and I just cut this off the top to make a little piece to go behind that, and stamped Happy Thanksgiving from the kit, which didn't come out real good. And I didn't do anything with the inside of that. I thought that's light enough they can write, and I didn't have any more scraps of Blackberry Bliss, so I just left it like that. Then the next one is also on, or it's on Pretty Peacock. This is the back of this card, the plain crumb cake. Here's the other part of the tag that I had cut for this backing here. So I just put it landscape, and then this is out of the kit, this is out of the kit, everything here except the card base is out of the kit, and I thought that came out pretty. And then inside I just put a piece of Whisper White, and that's it. So I just put two of these. This is bumped up on dimensionals, but the Mary Merlot circle is not. And this is a fake bow. It's wrapped around just the tag, glued down, and then this is just tied on to it. So that's that one. Then I used one of the other note cards again, but this time I was thinking I wanted to use these Blackberry Bliss, and I was laying them out trying to figure stuff out, and I thought, well, sort of like a clothesline or something, you know, have them look like they're hanging but not really. So I just kind of alternated the direction they were in and glued them down, wrapped this twine around 3 times. It shows on the inside though. And then very simply just took a piece of crushed curry, the flag from the kit, and wrapped some twine around there too to go with that, and then a bunch of the dots. And the envelope I didn't do anything with, it just goes with it. So that's a very easy card. That's all I did on that one. And then the next one is on crumb cake. I did not emboss it. What I started on with this one is I took Pretty Peacock and I just stamped down the edge 3 times with the pattern stamp that was in the kit, this one here. And then I Wink-a-Stellaed the inside of them. I don't know if you can see the blingy bling. But then this piece here was another piece of the paper bag, and I think it was part of the, yes, it was the side panel piece that came out here, I think down to about here. And I had flagged it, but I flagged it the whole thing, and then I actually just opened it up, so I sort of have like a double flag back there. You can't see it real well, but a little bit right here. So I used that as a backing layer, and then I just layered, oh, and these little things here are they're from the Sprig Punch, and they're out of the paper bag as well. And then these two are from the Sprig Punch, and they are out of Pretty Peacock. And then I brought the Pretty Peacock pieces in from the kit. I just did the loose twine all around underneath this, which is up on dimensionals. This is a stamp from the kit, and then these are the faceted in 2019 to 21 in color faceted dots, which you can see I'm getting low on some already. And they're in the Pretty Peacock. So that came out pretty cool. And then inside is just blank white on that one. Has a lot going on. It's a little, I don't know. I'm not crazy about these stripe pattern things, but I used them. Okay, so the next one I do like, it's Pretty Peacock, and I stamped all over with this in Pretty Peacock on the background. This is another piece of the paper bag, just a plain piece. I didn't do anything to it. Here I had this leftover strip of Blackberry Bliss. That was the only piece I had left of that sheet. And then I took one of these from the kit and I cut it in half, and I just backed that over here. I took some of the purple, two of them, the purple leaf things from the kit, two more Sprig Punches from the paper bag. This was a leftover strip of the ribbon from the kit, and I snailed it down. And then this, I actually had these two sheets left, and you see there's a big space here, and I took one of them and I punched with my 1 3/8 inch scallop circle punch. And the Ever So Grateful, I think, came out of a big thank you. One sec. Yes, it came out of this, a big thank you set, Ever So Grateful, and same with the little heart, and they're stamped in, I'm gonna say Blackberry Bliss, because I'm not sure. I Wink a Stella the heart, and this is up on dimensionals, and that's the only thing that is. And then inside again is just white, so that's different. And I like the rough edge of the bag. That's like the top of the bag, so I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know if you can see that. So kind of cool. Now the next one took me a little longer, but it was fun to do. This one I stamped in the new Delicata copper ink. Now I only have the full size one in the silvery shimmer, but I have the same inks, Delicata by Sunico, and I used the copper. I think, I'm pretty sure, which was kind of hard because I might have used actually the bronze. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but I had a tough time because these don't come out. They're like in the little thing. At least I don't think they come out. So I really had to carefully go around with it on my block to get it to stamp a couple times. It was kind of a pain. So I am ordering the full-size gold and copper stamp pads, but I do have all the refills. So I took my little, oops, sorry, my arm just bumped the light. I took my little Dollar Tree paint thingy and I put just a dab, and you see I have, ooh, it's still wet. Oh wow, that stays wet. That's been a while. Anyway, I now have paint all over my finger. 1 second. I took the aqua painter, one of them, and I painted in copper, gold, and silver with the refills, and just gives it a lot of shimmer. Then this is a piece of soft suede I had left over in my cardstock, and I used the new hammered metal embossing folder. I really like that embossing folder. I've used it at least twice now, and it looks really good on metallic, and it looks good on regular paper. But anyway, I did that. This is obviously, this white thing is one of the tags in the kit, and then this is the copper trim out of the annual catalog here, number 144179. It's just called copper trim 1/4 inch, and you get 5 yards. And then I heat embossed with copper embossing powder. I used Versamark and Grateful for Family Like You. So I thought it had a nice masculine kind of look to it, but also fall kind of looks. So that was pretty cool. And I just left the inside blank for now. So yeah, let me know what you think. I think that's pretty awesome. Sorry for glaring you out, but I'm really liking these Delicata inks. I didn't realize they would stay wet that long. Okay, so here's where I use the other half of the circle that I cut for the one of the others, and another one of the tags that look like this. And I had a scrap of crushed curry, and I did put that in the subtle embossing folder. This is another piece of soft suede. And then I simply put 2 of the vellum pieces from the kit, and 2 of these leaves, branches. And I also had heat embossed that in copper, the Thankful for Friends Like You. And on the inside of that, I have a little piece of crushed curry and one of the pieces from the kit with the berries, I guess they are. And that's that one. A pretty simple, but I really like that card. Simple can be effective, right? And then the next one of the colors they said coordinated was Calypso Coral. So I brought out Calypso Coral. Thought it went with part of this sunset kind of looking thing, or sunrise, I don't know. But I stamped all over it with the Thankful for Friends Like You in Merry Merlot. And then I took the entire card front. Actually, I lie. I had cut part of that card front off. Oh, for the, I know what I used it for. I had used it for this. This was that leftover piece of card, because those cards look like this. So I had taken the sky part, if you will, the yellow, and lopped that off for my little hanging. But I had this piece left, and I actually glued it down onto its own back. So that's what this crumb cake is, and this is then a little thicker than this part down here. And then I took a piece of ribbon where the seam is and wrapped it around both parts, and then I glued that down onto the card base. These 2 pieces were from the kit. This is the reverse side, because it needed the white, I think, to make it pop. So I just stamped again the Thankful for Friends Like You in Merry Merlot, put it on the stitch circle from the kit, and bumped that up on dimensionals. And then I kind of put these up here in the corner like that, because I felt like they looked like sort of night stars shining or something. I don't know. And then inside, okay, what I did here is I took the stamp, put it on a block, and then I pulled out 3 of my Stampin' Write markers, Merry Merlot, Crushed Curry, and Pretty Peacock. And I used the brush tip, and I brushed over the stamp, huffed on it, blew on it, you know, and then I stamped it on here. And that is what I did on that, to bring out the colors in this as well. So that's what I did there, and I didn't want to color it in. So that's on Calypso Coral. And then the next one was a fun one. I used, oops, hang on. I used this as a stencil. And what I did is I put it down like this on a piece of Whisper White, and then I used crushed curry and Mary Merlot. I didn't use any other color, so I used my piece left over from punching out the other pieces as a stencil. You've seen me do that before. But I thought it came out pretty cool, and then I put it on Pretty Peacock because I hadn't used Pretty Peacock. This is out of the Stitch Shaped Circles, and this thanks is out of a big thank you, as is this little, I don't know what that's called, but I put it on top and bottom of the thanks. And then I used the stitch shapes because this is stitched also. And then I brought out the Pretty Peacock and the Crumb Cake little embellishments here, and a piece of the Pretty Peacock and linen ribbon, wrapped that around the white piece before I glued it down, and that made a pretty simple but effective card. And then inside, this is also out of that same stamp set, You Are the Best. Okay, and then only two more, guys. This one is on crushed curry. This is the whole card front from, well, it looks just like that with one exception. Hang on, sorry, I have to turn around to get the stuff. This card. Oops. Okay, so what I did is I took out my stitch shapes again, the largest circle, and I cut this wreath out. And then these, I actually used another one of, I'm just putting stuff away, and I shouldn't. I used another one of these, and I die cut, I stamped and die cut from the Colorful Season. So I stamped this leaf, but it's actually a little bigger than that right here, and I stamped it with, I think, Old Olive. Yes. So, and I just stamped it in, you know, this way and then this way, so I got more yellow and orange. And then I was able to use the die, sorry, put everything away, I should have kept it out. The dye that is in the seasonal layers thinlets out of the darker color. Now what happened is, oops, the stem and a few of the leaves I think had a little white on them, so I again just took my marker and went over them, but really it didn't matter because they ended up being under this anyway. So that's how I did that. And then the Happy Thanksgiving is out of the, I want to call it Well Said. I'm not sure what I did with it, guys, but I think it's out of the new Well Said set that has, I knew I have that here because I just, oh, A Wish for Everything. I'm sorry, I'm calling it the wrong thing. See, this is why I need to get it out. So there's a stamp set called A Wish for Everything, and coordinating dies that are called Word Wishes dies. And they have the words Happy Thanksgiving, Happy and Thanksgiving, New Year's, Valentine's, St. Patrick's, Christmas, Halloween, Merry, Father's, Mother's Day, and Easter in it. So there's 12 dies in there, plus there's Happy and Thanksgiving and some other sentiments in here. Great set, a little on the pricey side. If you can ever get it from doing a party and get it with rewards or 50% off, that's a great one to have. So I cut them out twice out of crushed curry and just put them across the wreath, and then the wreath is up on dimensionals. And obviously before I glued this down, I wrapped this ribbon around and tied a bow separately, and then just put a glue dot there to put it down. And I thought that came out pretty cool, and it made good use out of one of the card fronts to get these 3 leaves. So that was fun. And the only thing, the stamp set that came in the kit has Happy Thanksgiving, but it's the smallest sentiment here, and it just seemed like it got lost on that circle, so that's why I didn't use that. And I wasn't liking putting a banner piece across here or anything. It just didn't look right to me, so I think this made it pop, and I really like that. And then inside I just stamped that one leaf in Mary Merlot on a piece of Whisper White, and I think this actually is the back of this card because it's the same, yeah it is, it's the same size. And then I turned it so that the white part would show. And then the last one I did is this one, and I took an envelope apart because my initial thinking was I'm just going to use this flap. These again were cut out of that piece, and I have that piece. I'll show you. I think I do, yes, here. So you see I made use of every space I could. I got these 4 little leaves from the Colorful Seasons die cut out of this paper, but some of them, like this one, went into the white and even into the crumb cake. So what I did is I took my markers and I just colored them to be a little bit different colors, because leaves are like that anyway, right? So this is Old Olive mixed with crushed curry, and this I think was just crushed curry over the crushed curry that they had, which was two-tone, and this has a little bit of curry on it but not much. So yeah, I thought they came out pretty cool. So I used a lot of that piece, right? And that'll be thrown out. I just kept it to show you. And then this is actually the envelope. And then I thought, well, why don't I turn it into a pocket? But I had already cut the flap off. So I glued it down, and then I just put one of the tags in here, and I can write a sentiment on there, or you could use it to put a gift card in. And I plan on stamping something on the back of the tag, but I have not yet. And it goes this way. So this was on the envelope. I went around this. This is the back of one of the tags that look, where'd they go? Here they are. I have quite a few of these left. I have even more than this, but I didn't like this with it, right? So why is that? Oh, look at that. I didn't realize some are shorter. I just now noticed that some are shorter and higher, but this one is longer. How about that? Didn't even notice that before. Anyway, I went around the edges of it with my crushed curry marker, but I stamped in Mary Merlot, just put one gold bling on, and the leaves for decoration. And obviously the pocket is here. And then inside I just had one strip of crushed curry, and here's the back of something. I'm not sure which card anymore. Oh, oops, sorry. This card, it's the back. No, it isn't. And I'm not sure which back that is, but it is the back of a card, of one of the note cards. Oh, it's probably the back of the piece that I was cutting all the leaves out of. That's what it was. So yeah, it was the back of this one that I put on the inside. So I used up all those pieces, and I didn't stamp anything in there because there's enough going on the front, and I really like it. I have a pocket card, and the envelope is so pretty, and I just dressed it up a little more. So I just really glued the flap down again all together, and that helped seal this back up again too. And I had to cut the side of the envelope to be able to have the pocket. So I thought that was pretty cool. And that is all I have done, but I have so much left in this kit with the add-ons and stuff. So let me show you. Clearly these ribbons don't go in the kit, but I have this little tray. So I have a whole bunch of these left, a whole bunch of them left. I have quite a number of leaves left too, not as many as I have of those though. I have a few of the Blackberry Bliss leaves, and I have a few of the Pretty Peacock leaves. I did use quite a number of these, but I still have this whole stack of them left. I have a lot of banners here left. I have a lot of mini glue dots, but I will tell you, I probably would be almost out of these. I ended up using some out of my box, but I did use only dimensionals from here, and you can see I used most of them. I have a lot of the bling sequins left. I have a lot of the linen thread, and probably not as much of the ribbon left, but I still have quite a bit. I have like 4 of these left, the white ones, and 5 of these left. Oh, here's another circle I punched out. No, that was out of crushed curry. But I have 2 of the Mary Merlot stitch circles left. And I have only 2 of these left, I think. Feels like 3. Yeah, only 2 of those left. I have a lot of these, even though now I'm not sure. Seems like I have a lot more long ones. Oh no, they're all mixed up, but you can see I have a lot of these in both sizes, and short and squatty, and like me, and long and slender. So I have more of the short squatty ones. I didn't even realize that. Anyway, I didn't use most of these. I did use a little bit of this trim. I just pulled out things that I thought were fall. And then as far as the cards go, I have quite a few. Let's see. Trying to get them here. I had originally written this, but it's not right anymore because I made a couple more cards after that. So I think I have 8 of the painted. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 of the painted, and probably 10 of these. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 10 of these left out of 12, and 7 of these left out of 12, and I think 22 envelopes, because really 23, but I used one as an envelope. 4, 5, 6, 7. Anyway, I think that's what it is, and I have 3 of the treat bags left, and I do want to use one more of those for family. And then these are just some scraps, but also I'm keeping this because these make nice backgrounds under these, or I can do 1 3/8 inch scalp circle punches out of them. So I'm saving that, and then this is what I used as a stencil. And I have a few pieces of paper bag left from that one paper bag, but I don't know. I might try some other things with these. Maybe with shimmer paint or something. I'm not sure yet. And then I just kept all the sheets that I punched stuff out of, but just to see if I wanted to use them for anything, but probably they're going to go in the trash. The only ones that were really good for stencils are these 2, and maybe this one. That actually would be kind of cool, but you have to be careful because these little pieces are pretty flimsy, so they might tear. You really would have to sponge it or spray it, and not rub it, because it would break. Even some of these are a little bit flimsy, but they worked okay. And then you know, probably I could get a little circle out of here or something too for a berry or something. So I don't tend to waste anything, but also I have so much other good product that I might throw some of the other sheets away soon. And you can see this is where I punch the sprig punch out of the paper bag piece. This was one of the sides, and then the other side I used underneath one of those wreaths. So yeah, I love this kit. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of more ideas, but I don't have enough time as usual to keep going with it right now. Hopefully I'll get to do some more with it. So yeah, I'll just try and lay all these out and cover my area here, even though you won't be able to see them all. And I hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun doing this. Like I said, let me move that out of the way. And let me know which one's your favorite, or if you think I did okay, or am I off base, or you know. Oh gosh, there's not enough room. That goes this way too, and then that one over there, and this one here, and then of course we have these. So let me see how many cards. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 cards. Is that right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 12 full-size cards, 1 small-size card which I have upside down, and 2 well, I did use this as a note card as well, but only it's as a gift card, and 1 wall hanging, 1 little wall hanging. So that's my projects for the alternatives for the paper pumpkin for August, and it is called The Gift of Fall. Fall definitely will feel like a gift here because the temperature needs to drop soon. It's very hot here in southeastern Pennsylvania. If you're new to my channel, thank you for coming and watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a like if you wouldn't mind. It helps my channel and me. And if you're not subscribed already, please be sure to subscribe. And if you're in the USA and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be yours. If you're interested in getting a paper pumpkin kit for next month, which is going to be spooktacular. No, that was last year's. This one is called, oh gosh, where is it? Where is it when you want it? This, anyway, it has a hand. It's a creepy hand. Here it is. Bon Appetit. Bon Appetit is our next paper pumpkin kit. If you subscribe to it for $22 a month plus any tax you have, shipping's included, by September 10th. There's a separate link below. It says paper pumpkin, click here or something, and you can get that by clicking on that link. If you sign up by September 10th, you'll be sure to get yours in a pretty purple box this time. So again, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Hugs, love, and peace.